The silence of these streets weighs heavier than you remember. Asphalt cracked and faded beneath your feet. The rows of houses look almost untouched. Roofs intact, windows curtained. But no sound comes from within. No barking dogs. No music through open windows. Not even the hum of distant traffic. You recognize this block from long ago. It's where that family lived. The Tran family, if memory serves. Back when everything was normal, before COVID swept through like a tide you couldn't outrun. You don't know why you've come back. Maybe curiosity. Maybe something colder. Your old friend had whispered about it recently over a late-night call. That house. No one ever moved back in. There had been stories. Lights flickering on by themselves, shadows in the upper windows, a shape lingering behind the curtains. Your friend spoke quickly, as though saying it too slowly might let something slip through the line and into his home. Now, standing in front of the house, you try to recall who lived there. Husband, wife, 2 kids, a boy and a girl, maybe. It blurs. COVID was like that. Names and faces smudging away as the months became years. The front gate is still chained shut, rusted but intact. A battered for sale sign leans sideways against the fence, the phone number long since faded to white. Grass grows in thick, wiry clumps. Vines scale the porch columns like grasping fingers. A part of you says, "Go home," but your legs move on their own, stepping over the broken gate onto the creaking porch. The boards sigh under your weight. You reach for the doorknob, hesitating as old instincts flare. You're not supposed to be here. But then, who's left to care? The door is unlocked. The smell hits you first. Stale air, wet wood, something faintly sweet like rotting fruit. It's the scent of a place long abandoned, but not quite empty. You step inside. Dust settles like a permanent fog over everything. The leather couch, the framed family photos on the wall, the coat rack still holding a child's bright blue raincoat. Your heart stutters. That raincoat. Why would it still be there after all this time? You can almost see a small hand grabbing it on the way to school, hear the shuffle of shoes by the door. As you move deeper into the house, the floor groans under each step. The kitchen is exactly as you feared, plates still on the table, mold-covered food fossilized in place. 2 chairs pushed back just slightly, as if someone had stood up in the middle of dinner and never sat down again. The refrigerator hums. You freeze. That shouldn't be possible. You check the cord, trailing along the floor toward a socket by the counter. No power, no lights. But still, the low, steady vibration continues from the fridge. You press your hand to its surface, cold, unnaturally so. You pull away quickly, wiping your hand on your jeans as though the chill might cling. The living room has collapsed in one corner. A tree branch has punched through the ceiling, scattering soggy insulation onto the floor. Water drips rhythmically into a growing puddle. You catch your own reflection in a cracked mirror. For a moment, you think there's someone standing behind you. When you turn, there's no one there. Your pulse quickens. It would be smarter to leave. Go back to your car. Drive away. Forget you ever came. But something grips you now. That itch behind your ribs, the sense that you're standing on the edge of something important. You spot a photograph in a silver frame lying face down on the hallway floor. You crouch, picking it up carefully, brushing dust from the glass. It's them. The family. Mother, father, 2 kids, yes, a boy and a girl, both with wide, gap-toothed smiles, the kind kids flash before they learn about keeping secrets from cameras. Someone had placed the photograph in the hallway, not on a shelf. On the floor. That small detail makes your skin crawl. Did they drop it while running? Or did someone else move it after? The hallway stretches ahead, lightless, save for a few slivers where the boarded-up windows let in tired streaks of sun. You walk forward. The floor plan is familiar even though you've never been inside before. There's something universal about houses like this. The layout designed for comfort, now turning claustrophobic. Doors line the hallway. 2 bedrooms, a bathroom. You glance inside each as you pass. One room is clearly a child's, wallpaper peeling around posters of cartoon heroes. Toys scattered across the floor. An unmade bed. You pick up a stuffed rabbit from beside the dresser, its white fur matted gray with dust. You set it back gently. The second bedroom is worse. The bed is stripped to the mattress. Blood-dark stains bloom across its surface. Your throat tightens. A journal sits on the nightstand, its cover worn smooth. You don't open it? Not yet. From somewhere deeper in the house, a floorboard creaks. You whip around, heart hammering. "Hello?" you call. Your voice sounds wrong in here. Too loud, like it doesn't belong. There's no answer, but you know you aren't alone. That's when you notice it. At the end of the hallway, a single door, heavier looking than the others. No light leaks from beneath it. You hadn't seen it before. It feels different, like everything in the house revolves around that one point. You step toward it slowly, each footfall matching the pounding in your ears. Your hand reaches for the knob. It's cold. So cold it burns. You hesitate, then pull your hand back. Not yet. Instead, you turn, retracing your steps toward the front door. The sun outside has started to set, painting the windows orange and red. But as you glance back over your shoulder, the door at the hallway's end remains exactly as it was. Silent, waiting. You stand in the fading light, your hand resting on the front door's handle, but you don't push it open. There's no reason for this kind of hesitation, except the lingering sensation that if you leave now, you'll carry the house with you in some invisible way, like it's already pressed its fingerprint against the inside of your skull. The street outside is quieter than before, if that's possible. You glance through the cracked glass panels on either side of the door. No cars, no neighbors peeking through blinds. It's just you and the house. With a slow breath, you release the handle and turn back into the living room. That humming fridge still bothers you. No power, no explanation, and yet it hums. You pull open the refrigerator door on impulse, bracing yourself. Nothing. Empty shelves, frost creeping along the inside walls. But when you lean closer, a faint scent hits you, sweet, cloying, almost like flowers gone to rot. You shut the door quickly. This wasn't about the fridge, though. It was about that door at the end of the hall. You walk back toward it, this time noting each creak and groan beneath your feet, counting the floorboards like a mantra. 12 steps. When you reach the hallway's end, the air feels heavier somehow. You test the knob again, but it's solidly locked. Your fingers brush over the surface of the door. Thick wood cracked in places, and there, something carved into it. At first, you think it's just scratches from years of wear, but as your eyes adjust, you see a pattern. Loops, crosses, symbols you can't immediately place. Some resemble quarantine markers. Others feel older, wrong somehow. You step back instinctively. The chain across the door isn't just for show. 3 thick padlocks hold it in place. Who would go to that much trouble from the inside? A sudden noise makes you freeze. Soft. A tap, like a finger against wood. Tap. Tap. It's coming from the other side of that locked door. Your mouth goes dry. You tell yourself it's the house settling, or maybe a rat. Anything. But you can't make yourself believe it. Before you can turn away, a draft brushes against the back of your neck, cold as ice. You spin around fast. For a split second, there's a shape standing halfway down the hallway. Not quite human. Too thin, too tall. Arms longer than they should be. But when you blink, it's gone. A chill crawls down your spine. You stumble back into the living room, forcing yourself not to look down the hallway again. Not yet. That's when you notice something else. The lights. They're flickering faintly. You could have sworn the house was completely without power. But now, yes. There's a weak orange glow from the overhead fixture in the kitchen. You walk closer, watching as it sputters, dims, then flares up again for a moment before going out completely. Like the house is trying to breathe. On the counter, a single object catches your attention. A cracked ceramic bowl filled with something black and waxy. Candles, maybe? Or melted wax pooled into unnatural shapes. There's writing on the counter next to it, scratched directly into the wood beneath the dust. You brush it clean. It says, "Stay." That single word, jagged and desperate. Your pulse throbs against your temples. A floorboard creaks behind you again. You turn slowly this time, expecting something, but it's only the living room mirror, leaning crookedly against the wall. Your own reflection stares back, but something about it looks wrong. The room behind you doesn't match. The hallway in the reflection is darker. The door at its end seems closer. Your stomach twists. You force yourself away from the mirror, heading toward the kitchen window. You want to get some air, step outside and clear your head. But the window won't budge. You check another. Same thing. All sealed shut. The front door too. Locked now, though you hadn't touched it. Your hands start to shake as you jiggle the knob harder. Still locked. The house doesn't want to let you go. You swallow hard, backing away from the door. Logic starts to fray around the edges of your mind. This was a mistake. You never should have come back here. A memory surfaces unbidden. Your friend's voice on the phone again. It doesn't matter how careful you are. Once you step inside, you're part of it. Your gaze drifts back toward the hallway. That's when you notice the raincoat. The child's bright blue raincoat. It's no longer hanging by the door. It's lying on the floor now, wet. You don't want to touch it, but you crouch down and press your fingers against the fabric anyway. Dripping. Cold. Like it had just been worn. You stand up fast, heart pounding so hard you can barely hear anything else. But beneath the rushing in your ears, something else filters through. Laughter. Light. High-pitched. A child's voice. It echoes through the house, not coming from any particular direction. And then silence again. You clamp your eyes shut for a second, willing yourself to breathe, but when you open them, there's a new shadow stretching across the floor. Long, thin, moving toward you. You don't look up right away. Instead, you keep your gaze fixed on that creeping shadow, elongated by some impossible light source. It stretches across the cracked floorboards toward your feet, as though testing how close it can get before you'll react. When you finally force your head to lift, there's nothing there. No figure casting the shape. Just empty air and that silent, ruined house pressing in all around you. The shadow remains. You back away slowly, step by careful step, until your heel hits something. A chair. The kitchen table. Steady yourself. You tell yourself that. Steady yourself, but your hands won't stop shaking. You glance again at the front door, locked. The windows, sealed. There's no way out. And yet something deeper inside you knows it's not about getting out anymore. It's about understanding what happened here. Why this house feels so full of things left unsaid, full of voices that aren't quite ready to let go. You walk back toward the hallway. The blue raincoat is still on the floor behind you, puddled like a dropped offering. This time, you move more deliberately. 1 step, 2, counting again. 12 floorboards to the end. At the hallway's mouth, you pause. Let your eyes adjust to the darker stretch ahead. Then you push open the first bedroom door on your left. It's the child's room again. But something's different now. The stuffed rabbit on the floor is gone. The posters on the wall curl more sharply, as though peeled back by invisible hands. And across the bed's rumpled sheets, letters have appeared in the dust. Help us. You swallow, throat dry as paper. You step closer to the bed, reaching out to brush the dust away, but before your hand touches the fabric, the mattress caves in. Like something sitting there, you stagger back, nearly tripping over a fallen toy car. The bed springs creak gently under invisible weight. No one there, but someone. You close the door quietly. You can't think about it too hard or you'll freeze. The second bedroom waits, the one with the stained mattress. You step inside again, unwilling but compelled. This time, your eyes go straight to the journal on the nightstand. You pick it up carefully. The cover is cracked leather, and as you open it, the pages flutter slightly, as if caught in a phantom breeze. Inside, cramped handwriting fills every line. The first page is dated March 2020. You read March 10th. They say it's getting worse. We stocked up today. Canned food, masks. The kids don't really understand. March 22nd. We haven't left the house in a week. Tran keeps watching the news. I don't like the way his face looks when he thinks no one's watching. April 1st. The boy has a fever. No hospital beds left. We're doing what we can here. The handwriting grows sloppier as the entries continue. Pages stained by something dark, ink, or something else. April 5th. Something is wrong with the house. Lights flicker. Doors open and close. April 8th. I hear voices that aren't mine. I think it's coming from the locked room. April 10th. He chained the door. Said it was safer that way. But I hear them still. They whisper my name. Your hands tremble as you flip to the final entry. April 12th. We are not alone here. That's all. You lower the journal slowly, heart hammering in your chest. The mattress creaks again behind you. You turn. There's a shape sitting on the edge of the bed now, barely visible. Just an impression in the dust, a dent where weight shouldn't be. Your breath catches. The shape shifts slightly, as if looking at you. You step back into the hallway and close the door firmly, pressing your hand flat against its surface until the tremor in your fingers fades. Something is wrong with the house. That's what the journal said. And now you believe it. Your attention drifts once more to the final door, the one with the chains. That's where the real answer waits. But as you move closer, something new draws your eye. A trail of wet footprints across the dusty floor. Small, child-sized. They lead from the living room mirror to the locked door. You kneel beside them, fingertips hovering just above one print. Still wet. You don't hear the laugh this time. You feel it. A breath against your ear. You lurch to your feet, spinning around. For a brief, awful second, you see them all. The mother, pale and hollow-eyed. The father, his face contorted in silent warning. The two children standing just behind them, all watching you. Then they're gone again. You stumble backward, heart slamming against your ribs. Your shoulder hits the locked door. A padlock clicks softly. You freeze. The chain shifts slightly. Not by your hand. The house is changing its mind. The question now isn't whether you'll open that door. It's when. You don't touch the padlock right away. You just stare at it, heart in your throat as it hangs slightly ajar, tilted like someone on the other side has just removed it for you. The rest of the chain still clings to the door, rattling faintly as though shivering in a wind that doesn't exist. Your first instinct is to step back, to give yourself space. But there's no room to breathe. The hallway feels tighter now, the ceiling lower, the air thicker. You're sweating, but your skin feels cold. Another memory flickers through. Long before the pandemic, playing hide-and-seek as a kid in houses just like this one. That same creeping feeling when the closet door opened and nothing was there. Except now, you're the one opening the closet. You reach out and lift the loosened padlock from the chain. It comes away easy. Too easy. The metal is ice cold in your hand, leaving a film of frost against your palm. The other two locks remain, still shut tight. But you know now, it's only a matter of time. A sharp knock interrupts your thoughts. You jump, slamming your back against the wall opposite the door. 3 deliberate raps, from inside the locked room. Your mouth opens, but no sound comes out. There's a rhythm to it. Knock, 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 like some patient code waiting for a response. You don't answer. You can't. Instead, you look around desperately for something, anything, to anchor yourself. Your eyes land on a photo still clinging to the hallway wall. The same family portrait. Except now, there are no faces. Their heads are all smudged out. White voids where eyes and smiles should be. You stumble back into the living room again, the walls seeming to pulse as you pass. That humming fridge noise has returned, louder now. But when you glance at it this time, the fridge door is hanging wide open. Inside, instead of empty shelves, there's a single object resting on the middle rack. A child's shoe. Blue canvas. Your throat tightens painfully. You remember seeing that same shoe in the photograph earlier, dangling from the boy's foot. You close the fridge door gently, unable to look at it anymore. That's when you hear the whispers. This time, they're everywhere. Soft, layered, 100 voices speaking over each other. You can't make out words, just the shape of them, brushing past your ears like cobwebs. You spin in place trying to find a source. The mirror. It's the mirror again. You approach slowly, heart pounding, sweat dripping down your spine. The reflection swims in the cracked glass, your face stretched and distorted. But there's more now. In the mirror, the hallway behind you is filled with people. Shadows of them, standing shoulder to shoulder in the dark. Watching you, you whip around. No one there. But when you turn back to the mirror, they haven't moved. Your mind splinters at the edges. You press your forehead against the cold surface of the glass, eyes closed tight. Please, you whisper. The mirror shudders under your touch. A single crack splits from top to bottom. You step back as shards fall away, clattering to the floor in slow motion. The spell breaks. The house feels quieter for a moment, like whatever it was had drawn back to watch from deeper shadows. You take that moment and move quickly back down the hallway toward the locked door. The remaining 2 padlocks glint faintly in the half-light. You don't think. You just grab the next one. It clicks open in your hand. The chain slithers lower. One left. You pause, swallowing hard, your pulse hammering in your ears. A shape flickers at the edge of your vision again, just past the bathroom door this time. You look straight at it. A girl, maybe 9 or 10 years old, standing barefoot on the wooden floor wearing a tattered nightgown. Her hair hangs in clumps plastered to her face. Her eyes meet yours. Wide. Too wide. Her mouth opens as if to speak, but no sound comes. Then she's gone. You're shaking now, both hands clutching the final padlock. Your fingers don't want to work. It feels like someone else's hands are moving them, twisting the key you didn't realize you were holding. The lock clicks. The chain falls away. The door creaks open half an inch. You can't breathe. A cold wind rushes out from the gap, strong enough to extinguish the flickering kitchen light bulb entirely, plunging the house into shadow. You push the door the rest of the way open. It groans like a living thing. Beyond is only darkness. For a long moment you stand there. Then you step through. The door swings shut behind you. The smell hits first, thick and choking. Decay and something sweeter beneath it, like rotting flowers again. You fumble along the wall for a switch. Your hand finds one. You flip it. A bare bulb hanging from the ceiling flickers on, and you see it. The room where everything ended. The light overhead sputters, but doesn't go out. A weak yellow circle barely large enough to cut through the gloom. Your eyes adjust slowly to the sight in front of you. It isn't what you expected. The room isn't large, maybe 10 feet wide. No windows, bare concrete walls. No furniture, except a small wooden chair set exactly in the center beneath the light bulb. And the stains. Dark, spreading stains on the floor, soaked into the concrete as though the walls themselves had bled. You step forward carefully. The door clicks shut behind you, sealing the room completely. Your breath fogs in the cold. There's something on the chair. At first you think it's a bundle of clothes, a child's sweater perhaps, folded neatly. But as you get closer, you realize it's not fabric at all. It's wax. A figure molded from layers of dark melted wax shaped into the outline of a small body. Head, arms, legs, all featureless, smoothed as though whoever made it hadn't wanted to leave any detail behind. Your skin prickles. The wax glistens as if freshly poured. A single drip falls from its hand to the floor below. Beside the chair sits a box. Old. Wooden. Its lid half open. You kneel slowly, feeling the chill of the concrete seep through your jeans. Inside the box are dozens of items. A child's shoe. The match to the one in the fridge. A cracked family photo. Faces scratched away. A rosary, tangled in a knot. A strip of hospital bracelet. You don't want to touch any of it. But your hand moves on its own. You lift the photo, tilting it toward the flickering bulb. There's a date written on the back. April 12th, 2020. That date again. You remember the last journal entry? We are not alone here. The whispering starts again, but now it's clearer. You hear words. We never left. Your head jerks up. The wax figure on the chair is melting faster now, dark liquid running down its sides in thick rivulets. You back away from it instinctively, and then the light bulb explodes. You're plunged into complete darkness. Your breath comes hard and fast. Hands grope blindly for the walls, for the door handle, anything. But the room feels larger now, stretched, wrong. The air vibrates with low, guttural voices, not just whispers anymore, chanting. You press your palms against your ears, but it doesn't help. Your name. You hear your name spoken in the dark. And then, impossibly, a soft child's voice right in front of you. Help us. Your hands drop. A pale shape emerges from the black, two small eyes catching what little light remains. The girl again. She reaches for you. You don't think. You grab her hand. It's ice cold, solid, real. And in that instant, everything shifts. The room snaps back to its original size. The chair is gone. The box is gone. Only the girl remains, holding your hand tightly. You stumble toward the door, dragging her with you. This time, the handle turns easily. The door creaks open, spilling faint hallway light into the black. You don't stop to think about how it's possible. You just pull the girl through after you, stepping into the hallway again. The house feels heavier now. Walls bowing inward, floors creaking like ribs cracking under strain. The girl tugs at your sleeve, pulling you down the hallway toward the living room. The mirror. She leads you straight to it. You stand together in front of the cracked glass. And there, in the reflection, you see all of them. The family. Mother, father, son, and daughter, standing behind you both. The girl turns to look up at you. Her lips move silently. You don't need to hear the words. You already know. She isn't real. Or rather, she's what's left behind. A piece caught between. You kneel, brushing her tangled hair back from her face. It's time, you whisper. She nods. The mirror shudders again, and this time it doesn't crack. It shatters. 100 pieces raining down like ice. You shield your face with your arms, the girl clinging to you as the sound fills the house like a scream. When it stops, there's only silence. You lower your arm slowly. The house is still. The girl is gone. The hallway behind you is empty, and for the first time, you feel like you can breathe. You glance at the front door. It hangs open now, morning light spilling through. You don't step through the open front door right away. You stand there in the threshold, one hand on the warped wooden frame, unsure if the light outside is really meant for you. The air smells different now. Cleaner, less of that thick, cloying rot. The silence is complete. No more whispers, no phantom footsteps, no low hum from the impossible fridge. But as you turn your head for one last look at the house behind you, a flicker catches your eye. A shadow. It moves along the living room wall, stretching unnaturally tall. You don't see its source, just the movement, like smoke curling upward against a draft. You hold your breath. The shadow twists again, then stills, fades. It doesn't feel like a threat anymore. You step outside. The sunlight stings after so long in the dark. You squint against it, blinking hard as you walk down the crumbling porch steps, the boards groaning one last time under your weight. The street is just as empty as when you arrived. The neighborhood feels frozen, like an entire block trapped in amber. You glance over your shoulder. The house stands there quietly. Its windows glint dully in the rising sun. The front door still wide open. You should feel relief, but instead there's a heavy kind of finality sitting in your chest, as if walking out didn't quite end things. The wind shifts behind you. You hear it faintly now, the house exhaling, a soft creak from somewhere inside, a chair moving, or maybe a door closing again. The house isn't done, but you are. You make your way down the front walk, stepping over cracked pavement and tufts of grass growing between slabs. At the edge of the yard, where rusted fence posts lean toward the road, something catches your eye. A small scrap of fabric caught on a nail. Bright blue. The raincoat. You don't touch it. You keep walking. By the time you reach your car, your hands are shaking again. You fumble the keys, drop them once, pick them up with numb fingers. The engine turns over slowly. You don't look at the house again as you pull away from the curb, but in the rearview mirror, it stays in sight longer than it should, like the road itself refuses to let you leave until it's ready. Finally, the house disappears from view, and still, there's no one else. No cars, no birds, no life at all. It feels like the entire world ended here, not just that family. You drive for what feels like hours before seeing another human being. A gas station clerk, middle-aged, bored-looking. He doesn't even glance up as you step inside, bell jingling above the door. You buy a bottle of water, more for the act of doing something normal than because you need it. When the clerk finally looks at you, his expression shifts slightly. "You from around here?" he asks. You shake your head. "Just passing through?" He nods once. Slow. Then casually, like it's nothing. "You weren't up by that house, were you?" Your stomach tightens. You don't answer right away. Instead, you open this water bottle, take a sip, and say, "Why?" The clerk shrugs. "Folks say it's haunted, ever since the family..." He trails off, glancing toward the window as if expecting something to be standing outside. Place gives people bad dreams. You finish your water, toss the empty bottle in a nearby trash can. "I didn't see anything," you lie. The clerk doesn't push it. You get back in your car, sitting there for a moment with your hands gripping the wheel. The sunlight is brighter now. Full morning. For a few moments, it almost feels like everything that happened back there could have been some fever dream. Until you check the back seat and see the child's blue raincoat lying there, folded neatly, still wet. You stare at it, your pulse roaring in your ears again. A single drop of water slides down from the fabric, landing on the car seat. You don't touch it. You don't say a word. You just start the engine again, driving on. But all the while, you can't shake the feeling that something's still riding with you. A presence just behind your shoulder. The shadows outside don't move the way they should. And when you glance into the rearview mirror, sometimes, just sometimes, you catch a flash of small, pale fingers resting on the back of your seat. You tell yourself it'll fade, that it's just memory. But deep down, you know, you brought something with you. And it isn't done yet. You don't go home right away. You drive past your exit, past familiar streets and intersections, until you find yourself on a stretch of highway that feels empty in all directions. There's no reason for it, except that your apartment doesn't feel like it would be safe anymore. You park eventually at a rest stop. A concrete building, faded vending machines outside. You sit in the car with the engine off, keys dangling from your fingers, just breathing in silence. And still, the blue raincoat sits in the back seat. You glance at it, expecting maybe this time it won't be there. But it is. Damp spots still darken the fabric. You finally reach back, gripping it by one sleeve. It feels heavier than it should. Cold to the touch, like it's been pulled straight from the house's shadows. You step outside. The sun is high now, full daylight, too bright for this kind of thing. And yet when you hold the coat up to the light, it doesn't look quite real. The color too deep, too saturated. You don't know why you do it, but you carry the coat to a trash bin by the rest stop entrance. Toss it in. The metal lid slams shut. You stand there, breathing hard, staring down at your reflection in the lid's surface. And there it is again. A child's face, behind your shoulder in the reflection. You spin, but there's nothing there. Just an empty parking lot. A single pickup truck parked way down at the end, its driver asleep behind the wheel. You get back in your car, hands gripping the wheel until your knuckles ache. This time, you drive home. By the time you reach your apartment, your legs feel unsteady. You unlock the door slowly, push it open, half expecting the shadows to follow you inside. But everything looks normal. Your couch, your coffee table, the dead plant you keep forgetting to throw out. You close the door behind you, lock it. Then you do the only thing you can think to do. You take a shower. Hot water, steam. You scrub until your skin stings, as if trying to wash away everything that clung to you from that house. When you step out, the mirror above the sink is fogged over. You wipe it clear with your hand. At first, nothing strange. Just your own exhausted face, red-eyed and pale. Then a shape. Behind you. That same impossibly tall, too thin figure from the hallway shadows. You spin so fast you nearly fall, towel slipping from your hands. Nothing. Your bathroom is empty. You sit on the edge of the tub for a while, head in your hands. That's when you notice something. Water dripping, but not from the faucet. You glance down. A small puddle forming on the tile, right beside your foot. You follow the trail back toward the hallway outside the bathroom, each drop shining faintly in the overhead light. Like the wet footprints back in the house. A chill settles into your bones. You get up slowly, stepping back into the hallway. Your apartment is quiet. Too quiet. You follow the trail. It leads to your bedroom. The door stands half open. You push it wider. And there, in the middle of your bed, sits the blue raincoat. Folded, still wet. You don't speak. You don't scream. You just stand there, listening to the soft drip of water hitting the floor. And then, a voice behind you. The same child's whisper. Help us. You turn, expecting again to see nothing. But this time she's there. The girl, pale, barefoot, wearing the same nightgown as before. Her hair hangs in wet ropes across her face. She stands in your hallway staring up at you. Her lips move again. Please. You can't move. You don't know if this is really happening anymore, or if the house never let you leave at all. The girl lifts one hand, pointing back toward your bedroom. You follow her gaze. On your bed, beneath the raincoat now, something else has appeared. The journal, the same one from the Tran family's house. You step closer, heart hammering, and pick it up with shaking hands. The cover is damp. You flip it open to the last page. A new entry, July 18th, today's date. And beneath it, in that same cramped handwriting, you brought us home. Your throat closes. You look up. The girl is gone. The hallway stands empty again, but the wet footprints remain. And somewhere, faint as a half-forgotten dream, you hear the echo of the house breathing. You don't sleep that night. You sit on the floor with your back against the bedroom wall, the journal clutched in your lap, staring at the folded raincoat lying on your bed like an accusation. Every light in your apartment stays on. The clock on your phone ticks past 3 o'clock a.m., then 4 o'clock. Time doesn't feel normal anymore. You keep opening the journal, flipping through pages that shouldn't exist, pages that weren't there before. Most are blank, except the last one. You brought us home. The ink still looks wet. You try to tell yourself there must be some rational explanation, that maybe you imagined parts of it. Maybe the house was just an abandoned wreck and everything else, shadows, voices, the girl, was stress. But you can't make yourself believe that. Not with the raincoat still damp, not with the steady drip-drip of water you keep hearing no matter how many times you mop the floor. At dawn, you make a decision. You take the journal, the raincoat. You put them both in a plastic bag, knotting it tight. Then you drive, not back to the house. You know better than that now. You drive out of town, past the city limits, to the old reservoir. A wide, still lake that used to supply the town before the newer plant was built. Fog hangs over the surface as you park at the edge. You don't hesitate. You take the bag, walk down to the shoreline, and wade in knee-deep. The water is ice cold. You throw the bag as far as you can. It splashes once, then sinks. You stand there until you're sure it's gone. When you finally turn back toward your car, the sun has started to rise again. For the first time since you left that house, you feel like you might actually be able to breathe. You drive home slowly, not rushing, half expecting the raincoat to be waiting on your bed again when you open the door. But the apartment feels empty. Quiet. You check every room, closet, bathroom, kitchen. Nothing out of place. You let yourself sit on the couch, eyes closed, head tipped back. Maybe it really is over. Hours pass. You eat something for the first time in what feels like days. You take another shower. And then, as you're toweling off, you notice something in the bathroom mirror. Not a face this time. Not a shadow. A word. Scrawled into the fog on the glass, as though a finger had traced it there. Stay. Your stomach knots. You wipe the mirror clean. Nothing. You check the apartment again. Still nothing. But now there's that feeling again, like someone standing just behind you, watching. That night you dream for the first time since the house. You see the girl. But she's not in the house. She's here. In your apartment hallway, standing barefoot, pointing toward your bedroom door. When you wake up, it's still dark. And your bedroom door is standing open. You don't remember leaving it that way. You sit up slowly, heart hammering. From somewhere beyond the door you hear a creak. The same creak the hallway floor made back in the Tran family's house. You get up, moving slowly, barefoot on the cold wood floor. You don't turn the lights on. You follow the sound instead. Your hallway is long, longer than it should be. It stretches impossibly far now, growing darker the farther you walk. And at the very end, a door. You know it before you reach it. It's the same door from the house, heavy wood, etched with strange marks. You press your hand against it. The surface is ice cold. The air smells of wax and old water. You step back, shaking your head. "This isn't real," you whisper. But the door is real. You grab the knob and twist. It opens. And beyond, darkness. That same single chair beneath a hanging bulb. The wax figure still sitting there. Unmelted. Whole again. You don't step through. You can't. Because now you understand. The house didn't just follow you. You've become part of it. Wherever you go, it goes. Wherever you live becomes another room in the same house. Another hallway. Another locked door waiting to be opened. You close the door quietly. Turn the knob until it clicks shut. Then you walk back down the hallway to your bedroom, sitting on the edge of the bed in the dark, listening. You know what's waiting behind every mirror now. You know the shape of the shadows, but there's nowhere left to run. Only this. Only staying. Because once you step inside, you never really leave. The days after that blur into each other. You don't remember when exactly you stop leaving the apartment. It's not a conscious decision. You just realize one morning that you haven't stepped outside in what must be days. You sit by the window sometimes, staring down at the street. There are people, cars, life moving on, but none of it feels connected to you anymore. Your world has narrowed to this hallway, this bedroom, this door at the end of it that shouldn't exist. You tape it shut at first, layers of duct tape across the frame. But every night, no matter how carefully you seal it, you wake to find the tape curling away. The door always slightly open again. You sleep less and less. When you do, the dreams come sharper. The house. Always the house. Rooms folding in on themselves. Corridors that stretch forever. You see the family sometimes, not as shadows now, but as clearer shapes. The mother, always holding something in her hands, a photo maybe, or the rosary. The father, standing with his back to you, staring at the locked door. The boy, crouched in a corner, hugging his knees. And the girl, always the girl. She walks beside you in the dream, never speaking, just pointing. You wake up in sweat, gasping, heart pounding, but the apartment doesn't feel empty anymore. You hear things moving in the other rooms, soft footsteps, chairs shifting. Sometimes in the middle of the night, the TV turns on by itself. Static. You don't get up to turn it off. You just watch the screen flicker until dawn. The worst part is how familiar it feels. Like home. One afternoon, You think it's afternoon, but the light outside doesn't quite match. You sit at your kitchen table, flipping through the journal again. The pages are still blank except that final line. You brought us home. Your hand moves on its own. You pick up a pen, open to a fresh page, and write, I see you. The ink looks blacker than it should, almost alive on the paper. When you set the pen down, you hear the floor creak behind you. The same rhythm as before. Step. Step. You don't turn around. You just keep writing. We are not alone here. The air grows colder as you write, your breath fogging in the stillness. Behind you, the door opens fully. No noise, no wind, just presence. You keep writing. There's no fear left. Not really. Just inevitability. Later, you won't remember how long you sat there. Minutes, hours. But when you finally look up, the journal is full. Pages covered in writing. Not your handwriting. Small, cramped letters repeating again and again. Stay, stay, stay. You close the journal gently, rise from the table, and walk to the hallway. The door stands wide open now. Inside, the chair, the wax figure, melted again. But something else too. The family, all of them, standing together, waiting. The girl reaches out her hand. You don't hesitate anymore. You step through the door, take her hand. The house breathes in around you. A low sigh through ancient walls. And for the first time since you stepped into that place, you feel warm. Like the house isn't angry. Just full. Complete. The door closes behind you. But you don't look back. The world beyond the house fades. You don't notice the door closing. You don't hear the click of the latch. One moment, your hand is in hers. The girl's pale, cold fingers wrapped around yours. And the next, there's nothing but darkness and quiet. Not the suffocating kind of dark. It feels gentle. Like the house is resting now. You stand in the center of that windowless room. The bare bulb overhead swinging faintly as though stirred by a wind that doesn't touch your skin. The wax figure on the chair has collapsed completely, a melted pool that glimmers faintly against the concrete floor. The family stands in front of you, all four of them. The mother steps forward first. Her face isn't blank or hollow anymore. There's color in her cheeks now, some of that old life returning. She holds something out to you. The photograph. The one from the hallway. But now the faces aren't scratched away. You can see each of them clearly. The father smiling stiffly, one hand on his son's shoulder, the boy holding the stuffed rabbit, the girl in her raincoat, all of them, frozen in that single moment of peace before everything ended. You take the photo slowly, fingers brushing the edge of the silver frame. The father speaks next, his voice low, rough with disuse. Thank you. That's all. 2 words. But they settle into your chest like weightlifting. You look down at the photo again. The faces seem to glow faintly, even in the dim light. When you look back up, the family is already stepping back. The mother places her hand against the wall. The father mirrors her. The children stand between them, and the wall begins to shift. It opens like paper folding in on itself. Beyond it, light. Not sunlight. Something softer. Pale gold, like the last hour before dusk. You don't step through. You know this isn't for you. This is their door, their way out. The girl turns back once, her eyes finding yours. She doesn't speak. She doesn't need to. You nod once. She smiles. And then they're gone. The wall folds closed again, seamless. The room returns to stillness. You stand there for a long time, holding the photograph in both hands. Then the light overhead flickers one final time and goes out. You don't panic. You walk through the dark as though it's something you've always known. The hallway greets you. You pass the familiar marks on the walls, the quiet sigh of old wood settling. When you reach the front door, it's open. Morning light spills in. You step outside. The house behind you doesn't look as ruined as before. The windows are clean, the grass trimmed, no chains on the doors. It's just a house now. You walk down the front steps, photo tucked under your arm. The street is busy again. Cars passing. People walking dogs. The world has moved on. You glance back once. The house stands quietly. Nothing left behind. No shadows in the windows. No whispers. You walk away. This time, when you get in your car, the back seat is empty. No raincoat. No wet footprints. Just you. You drive until the house is nothing but memory. Until even the shape of its roof fades from your mind. And for the first time in a long while, you feel free. But some nights, when the rain falls heavy and the sky turns that peculiar dark blue just before dawn, you wake to find your hallway stretching just a little longer than it should. You stand in the doorway, heart steady, eyes adjusting to the dark, and sometimes, just sometimes, you see a shape standing at the end. The girl. Only watching now, not asking, not trapped, just there. And you smile, because you understand. Some doors never really close. But not every haunting is meant to hurt you. Some are meant to remind you that you were there, that you stayed, that you helped. The next morning, you wake to find the photograph still on your nightstand. The face is clear, the family whole, and for the first time in a very long while, the house is just a house again.